My name is Al Coleman, Community Affairs Specialist with the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation's Community Affairs Branch. Myself, along with others, will be co-hosting a housing event and credit workshop on September 8, 2018 from 9 a.m. to 12 noon at Faith Christian Center Church, located at 6490 Phelan Boulevard in Beaumont, Texas. The FDIC's Affordable Mortgage Lending Center is designed as a resource for community banks to help them compare a variety of current affordable mortgage programs and to identify the next steps if they seek to expand or initiate affordable mortgage lending. Offering affordable mortgage home loans to a wide range of customers can deepen bank customers' relationships and provide an important pathway for homeowners to own their homes and participate in the mainstream banking system. So text iOWN18 to 54244 to join us for this informative seminar, Saturday, September 8th, 2018. So, can everybody hear me? Yes. So again, as Pastor Sharp said, my name's Al Coleman. I'm with the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation, FDIC. Again, I want to thank Pastor Sharp and his staff, as well as Felicia and some of the other staff for helping me come together and bring this important seminar workshop to the Beaumont area. I mean, I've been wanting to do something like this for a long time, and I just hooked up with the right people. And I tell you, when I met Pastor Sharp, this dude is so energetic. I mean, anytime I ask him to do something, oh, I got it. And most of you guys know how he operates. He's very timely. If he tells you he's going to do something, he's going to do it. And that's really what I appreciate about him the most. And so you guys are very blessed to have someone that provides that type of leadership and passion for the community of Beaumont. But at any rate, a lot of people don't know what the FDIC does. Okay, you may see the FDIC sign when you go into your local financial institution, FDIC insured. Oh, okay, well, some people say, well, I guess they provide insurance. I've been asked that question time and time again. You guys provide insurance? What type of insurance? Auto, home? No, we don't really do that. Okay, well, what do? We provide insurance for your deposits, up to $250,000 per account. Okay, so a lot of people really don't know that, or they don't maybe do the research to understand that's what we do. We also provide responsibility to ensure that the banks are operating in a safe and sound manner. How does that take place? Basically, we go in and perform examinations on these banks. So all your local banks you see in the community, around the block, uptown, downtown, wherever you want to call it, more times than not, they are insured by the FDIC. Okay? If you're dealing with an institution that doesn't have that designation, run. Get your money and get out. Okay? Because let me tell you, you may not have an account the next day. I mean, it's being straightforward with you. So do not put your money in these particular financial institutions that don't have the insurance and that can promise you a false, large return on your investment, because that's probably not true. And so, like I said, we supervise and enforce consumer protection and safety and soundness laws that's been, adopted by the state and the federal government. We also facilitate community development efforts. And when I say that, we usually partner with the local community, whether it's faith-based organizations, nonprofits, big businesses, if you will. We usually try and partner with these particular organizations to bring about events that you guys are attending today, whether it's affordable housing, whether it's financial education, small business, anything of that nature. The FDIC, it really has a passion for giving back more than what you can envision in terms of just insuring your deposits. Another thing that we also do is we want to promote mainstream financial banking. Okay? And what I mean by that is that there are a large number of individuals that are unbanked and underbanked. So underbanked, meaning that they had a bank account or they have a bank account, but they don't utilize it to their fullest. Okay, unbanked meaning they just don't have a relationship with the banker at all, for whatever reasons. Now, in some cultures, they believe bankers are crooks, okay? And so when they come over to the United States, they won't keep their money into a bank. They'll keep it at home on a mattress. They'll maybe put it in the ground somewhere. Who knows? But for the most part, that's not safe. That's not very smart as well. You have to establish a relationship with the bank. A lot of individuals that are underbanked, maybe they've had a relationship with the bank before. Their relationship is not strong anymore because maybe there are some outstanding fees that are ongoing. And a lot of times people say, well, I'm not dealing with a bank because, if I put my check in there, they're going to take my money anyway. That's the mindset. That is a warped, if you will, mindset, because that's not really the case. You have to be responsible. So if you've got outstanding fees, there's a reasons why. Maybe you overdrew your account. Maybe there were some restrictions in your account that said if you don't keep X amount, then we're going to charge you $5, $8 a month. These are things that, as a minority population, guys, we don't read the fine print. I don't know how much I can stress to read the fine print anytime you sign any type of documents, because it's there. We're just too excited about the big picture. Okay. What we are offering today, we have a mortgage banking product that we've put together, and it's out on my display table there, that has a lot of good information about a lot of the federal agencies, a lot of the federal programs that a lot of you probably would qualify for. So I would encourage you to go to the table and pick up that blue booklet. It's called the Affordable Mortgage Lending Guide. And like I said, it has information in there from the federal agencies, from the state housing finance agencies as well. And you can actually, if you don't have a chance to get that book, you can actually go online to fdic.gov and just type in mortgage lending guide, and then you'll be able to get that information. Okay, but again, it's a publication. We've actually done 3 publications now. So it's a publication that's been in place for, I would say, for about 5 years. And we actually decided to do this type of publication in the midst of the recession that took place back in 2008, because we felt that there was a need for consumers to be able to grasp information in one place. Because as you guys know, with the recession that took place back then, obviously the housing prices, they did drop, but what I like to say, as a result of those housing prices drop, no one really couldn't buy a house because they were unemployed. So the market was for a buyer's market. If you had money, you could buy a house, but a lot of people wasn't in that situation. Let me also say that particular mortgage lending guide, it has a program description. It includes insights into the program's purpose. It talks about how to participate, how to identify the different benefits and challenges that you might encounter. It also talks about borrower and loan criteria. Okay, it's going to help you identify whether affordable home loan program is suitable for your particular client. It's going to help you in regards to LMI, low moderate income. It talks about that a little bit also, because a lot of times you may not know that you are in a low and moderate income area. You may not know that you fit into that particular category, if you will. So it actually explains that, and every year that number changes. So the number in the book may be a little off, but generally speaking, you'll get an idea of what that number is and how you fit in. The borrower and loan criteria also takes in consideration your income limits, talks about credit scores, loan-to-value ratios, debt-to-income ratios. All these things are going to be addressed in this booklet. In fact, you're going to hear those same terms probably spoken again throughout the day from some speakers that's going to follow me. So be leery of that as well. There was 3 parts that I mentioned, and part 1 is going to focus on a lot of the federal programs for single-family housing that support home purchasing, refinance, manufactured housing, as well as some home improvement lending as well. So Again, when you get this booklet, it's going to have all of this information in there just for a resource purpose for yourself. The Part 2 guide that we wrote is going to focus on those same things, but it's going to take it a little further. It's going to talk about down payment and closing assistance. How do you get assistance for you're interested in buying a home, but are there programs out there that's going to help you with regards to getting down payment assistance? Yes, there surely are. So the book is going to just give you just a snapshot of some of the programs that are out there to help you qualify for down payment assistance. Most of you probably know that a lot of times you can, go to some classes and you will qualify with some down payment assistance. And let me just tell you, I know for a fact that since the recession, credit is a little more tough to get now. You've got mortgage lenders out there that are just kind of skimmish in terms of, well, I don't know if I want to make the loan, or they're sitting on the fence, and I learned my lesson from 2008. So, again, any type of help that you can get will certainly benefit you. We do have a real estate mortgage specialist that's going to speak later on, and they can probably provide you with a little more specifics on how that whole program works. But typically, just a typical conventional loan, you're looking at anywhere from 10 to 20% now, which is huge for particularly a young person trying to get a home. I mean, you went to college, you graduated, you got a decent job, yeah, but you got a few student loans. You don't have, $20,000, $40,000 to put down on a home, not right off. So you're going to have to work your way to that point. But again, there are programs out there to circumvent that typical idea of, man, I can't afford a home right now. Okay. Part 3 talks about the process as it relates to what some of the banks are required to do as it pertains to Community Reinvestment Act, CRA. CRA came about in 1977. It was put in place for the community, if you will, and it's an incentive for financial institutions to provide loans to low to moderate income individuals in low to moderate income geographies. Okay, there was a point in time where banks say, well, you know what, I'm not lending across town, or I'm not lending in this area. We call it redlining from a federal standpoint. Okay, that was really happening. So that's why you see still in today's world, you see a lot of separation between, whites and blacks living on this side and that side. The redlining still exists. We also have noted that many times we call them areas that don't have financial institutions. We call them financial deserts. Financial deserts, because as you guys know, in a desert there's nothing out there. Well, maybe in this section of the town, it's a financial desert because there's no banks. So if you don't have transportation or reliable transportation to get you to a financial institution, then you're stuck in a financial desert, which is, again, is something that we are trying to work with these financial institutions in order to provide affordable and safe financial products to low to moderate income individuals. Now, a lot of banks have stepped up to the plate, and they have what they call mobile banks. Well, they're just like probably some of you can remember back in the day, they used to have these mobile libraries they drive around and then set up shop for a couple of hours in a community where libraries wasn't available. And you go there and you get your books and things like that. Well, that's what banks are trying to do now. That's just one creative way to reach a community, without, if you will, establishing a brick and mortar type establishment. Okay. So these types of events that we typically do, I participate in events throughout the country. In fact, I was just in Phoenix earlier in the week doing an event similar to this one. We do affordable housing events. We do credit repair workshops. We work with all types of agencies, including colleges and universities, small business development centers, faith-based organizations. So the FDIC is more engaged in just, if you will, just insuring your deposits. I usually like to come out into the community. I don't have a suit and tie on today. Pastor Sharp said he's going to be casual, so I'm like, okay, I'm going to be casual because I know how he is. He he can throw it down, and that's all good. But, I'm going to be casual. I don't want to be, sticking out like a federal guy, because a lot of times when I go out into the communities and I got a suit on, this Fed guy ain't going to help me. He ain't going to do nothing. And I'm not like that. I'm a real down-to-earth type individual. But I just wanted to say that, again, I think, throughout the day, guys, you're really going to be blessed with a lot of good information. I would encourage you to ask a lot of questions, get all the information that's out there that's going to help you make a smart and wise decision on your home purchase. So with that, guys, I've completed. I'm early because I know there's a lot of people ahead of me that has a lot more good information. And so I'm going to give them the time to actually talk to you guys. But I do have time for a few questions in regards to what FDIC does, what we've been doing, things of that nature. So any questions of me? Somebody's got to have something. Yes.
I had never heard of financial desert, and there is an area of town that comes to mind for me, and I'm thinking, I'm in real estate, and I'm thinking, wow, I don't know that there's a bank over by Lamar University. Mm-hmm. There may be, okay, but there's not a ton like there are on this side of town.
Sure.
So what is your organization doing to help those communities who don't have financial institutions set up, and do you have access to those mobile banks? The mobile banks, and can we maybe get some of those out this way sometime? I don't know if you have a connection to Beaumont or what's going on.
So that's actually an excellent question, and I'm going to be paraphrasing. So if I miss something, please let me know. So in regards to myself or the FDIC actually doing something with regards to bringing banking to these financial deserts, what we typically do is we try to encourage. We can't make them, we can't mandate them to do this, that, and the other. But what we try to do is we try to help them identify areas where these financial deserts exist. So, for instance, we might come into an area like Beaumont and say, okay, there's not a lot of banks over here. Now, it's really up to the individual banks in town to actually go out there and put branches out there or participate in events like this to say, hey, look, I know we don't have a bank on this side, but we are sure glad that you are interested in our bank, and this is what we can offer you. A lot of times bankers have to step out and do their own marketing, if you will. The FDIC is there as a safe board, but we cannot just make them just open up a bank on your side of town because there's a financial desert that exists. Okay? And then, what was your second question you had? Oh, the mobile banking. So the mobile banking it depends on every individual bank. This one bank in particular, out of Houston, decided to do a mobile banking bus. It's so innovative. It's got all the computers in it and everything. So it's just something that their leadership decided to take up on themselves to do, so they could actually go out into some of these communities and if you will, create business. Okay, so again, it's not something that FDIC mandates, but that is one way that they can meet CRA consideration because it's very innovative and creative. Okay?
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
When you talked about red line and deserts, are you saying that there are areas that banks, say in our city,
okay,
are you saying that there are areas that banks will not lend money to in order to build or to purchase?
So what I'm saying is, if you recall with the redlining scenario, banks would just look at a map, and let's say zip code 77007. We'd go in and do an examination. It's like, well, you don't have any loans over here, yet you include this in your assessment area. Because banks have to adopt an assessment area in order, to say, yeah, we adopt the whole county of Jefferson. But yet, when we look at these different pockets of Jefferson, we see that there is no lending activity going on. And so they have to actually substantiate why they're not lending in one particular area. In the old days, it was called redlining because you just drew a red line on a map, and it's like, no, we're not making loans over here, we'll make our loans over here. But nowadays, there's regulations and there are penalties for doing any type of redlining, and so anytime from an examination standpoint that we see that is taking place, we actually ask our fair lending specialist to come down and do a complete analysis of the bank's lending policies. And that will uncover any type of deficiencies that might exist in that bank's credit policies.
So actually, we can put pressure on the local banks
Yes, sir.
to make sure that we finance in all areas of our city.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So who do we need to call?
I'm not going to say Tyrone, but anyway. But generally speaking, if you have any type of complaints like that, you would reach out to FDIC's Consumer Protection Agency, or you can just go in and Google FDIC and then put in the search box, just put in there even mortgage financing and things of that nature, and that information will come up. Okay, so like I said, and then you can always contact me. Obviously, I don't have a slide up here, but Pastor Sharp has my contact information. You will see me more times than not in the community putting on these types of events, whether it's financial education, small business, or affordable housing type events. You'll see me around, and please feel free to get my contact information. All right, well, guys, thanks a lot for your attention, and I look forward to meeting you guys doing the outside on the tables.
All right, let's give Al a big hand.
My name is Al Coleman, Community Affairs Specialist with the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation's Community Affairs Branch. Myself, along with others, will be co-hosting a housing event and credit workshop on September 8th, 2018 from 9 a.m. to 12 noon at Faith Christian Center Church, located at 6490 Phelan Boulevard in Beaumont, Texas. The FDIC's Affordable Mortgage Lending Center is designed as a resource for community banks to help them compare a variety of current affordable mortgage programs and to identify the next steps if they seek to expand or initiate affordable mortgage lending. Offering affordable mortgage home loans to a wide range of customers can deepen bank customers' relationships and provide an important pathway for homeowners to own their homes and participate in the mainstream banking system. So text iOWN18 to 54244 to join us for this informative seminar, Saturday, September 8th, 2018.